as far as cycling goes, I did my state and national meet on a Concord Atlas bike with no gears, nothing. So that's the bike I rode on.
Wow, Atlas bike. Right.
So, and then when I went to Australia for the World Meet, I went there, and the evening before, I went to a shop and bought myself a cycle. I
Okay.
bought myself a Repco. I bought it the night before my meet, and then I did a spin around, and that was it. And that had gears. I had to get used to it on my but it was still much better than riding the Concorde. There was no cell phones, right? So we would meet at MG Road, and there was these stairs on the side on the walkway, if you remember the older way, old MG. So we'd wait over there, and if somebody had gone, they would leave one stone there, so you know that somebody's on the road, because there's no other way of communicating with each other.
That's your WhatsApp.
That was called Somberi Katte.
Somberi Katte.
Because if you sat there, you wouldn't get up.
I am Baiki Venki, and this is the Working Athlete Podcast. Here, I talk to working athletes from all walks of life and experts from various sports to provide you with inspiration, training tips, time management, and lifestyle advice. If this is something that interests you, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future episodes. Today's guest is Anusuya Alva. She was a swimmer in her school days who won many national level championships before she made a switch into triathlon in 1991. She won the national triathlon championships in 91 and 92, and she brought home a bronze medal in the Asian Triathlon Championships in 1992. She took part in 2 triathlon world championships with very creditable performances. She got back to masters swimming circuit and won many national titles in the last 10 years. During the pandemic, she restarted her cycling and now enjoys both cycling and swimming with great success. In this episode, she shares her early journey in swimming and triathlon as well as her recent foray into cycling. Without further ado, let's dive in. Welcome to the Working Athlete Podcast, Anu. It's great having you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So, Anu, how did you get into sport, and when was this?
Yeah. So I studied in Bishop Cotton Girls' School, and we had a lot of sport in school. I ran for my school and was in all the whatever sports that was involved, like basketball, whatever in school.
Right, yeah.
But I ran for school, and then I did a lot of inter-school races, like the NIS and BSA sports. So right from about the 5th grade, I've done competitive running.
Nice.
And
What were the distances like?
long, the 400s and 800s I used to run for the inter-school. But in school, I ran all the events in Cottons. About the 8th grade, I had terrible asthma. I had asthma even younger than that.
Right.
But it started escalating in my 8th grade. And then my parents decided to put me into swimming so it would help me.
All right.
And I started at about the age of 13 with Mr. Moite, who was the state coach, a national coach then.
Right.
I swam in Alsur swimming pool. Within a few months of swimming, I went for the trials, and I got selected for the first state, and then for the nationals. Right. So I was a national swimmer for about 3 or 4 years.
Okay. So how was it like? Let's talk a little bit about running. Through school. So you said you did 400 and 800 meters.
Yes.
That is for
Inter-school.
Inter-school.
Just inter-school. Yes.
Yeah. So how did you do there? How was it training for it and stuff?
Training was just in school.
Yeah.
I got better with swimming.
Mm.
So, but because my stamina improved
Right.
tremendously.
Mm.
But in the 6th, 7th grade, I didn't really train anything. It was
Yeah.
just whatever we practiced in school and went.
Right.
But Cottons was amazing like that. They gave us a
Right.
lot of encouragement. They had psych coaches come in,
Mhm.
and after school we had training.
Right.
So
Nice, nice. So, how did that asthma kind of affect your running, and why
I
did
used
that?
to start wheezing if I ran
Right.
a lot. Then I'd start wheezing.
Okay.
I was active even at home. Like
Right.
would never be sitting down, be doing something, running or
Right.
cycling or
Right.
something, even as a child.
Right.
But if I exerted myself too much, I would start wheezing and coughing,
Okay.
and that got worse.
Exercise induced
Yes,
asthma.
bronchitis. That's what I
Correct.
had.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. Because why I'm kind of
Yes.
asking is I have asthma
Yes.
and bronchitis,
Yes.
and it got better with
That's right.
as I got active.
That's right.
When I was like 92 and all, I had bronchitis attacks almost every month.
Right.
But once I got active, I lost weight.
Yes.
Those 8 months were like magical when I
That's right.
started.
I don't take any medication
Yeah.
unless it's very stressful. If I get sick, if I get like a phlegm or a cold or something,
Right.
then I need my inhaler. But otherwise, I don't take anything.
Yeah. So at that time I was in the hospital visiting a lot of medications,
Yes.
and nothing seemed to help.
Yes.
But once I got active, it kind of was
Just
magical
disappeared.
and just
Exactly.
disappeared, and I got
And
off
swimming
medication.
is just fantastic because it's controlled breathing,
Right.
and it just cured me of my asthma completely.
Okay, so swimming helped compared to like
Yes.
running.
Yes.
A
Running,
lot.
no, running wasn't helping me, but swimming did because it's
Okay.
controlled breathing.
Okay.
It was really great for me. I
Awesome.
only started, I mean, I was only put in there to do it for my asthma, but I did really well. So I got
Right.
picked up and
Nice,
and-
nice. So how was it? You said you got into swimming when you were 13,
yes,
and quickly
that is very late for a swimmer. Normally they start much earlier.
right.
They start by 8, 7, 8. So I was very late for a swimmer to start. But I took up breaststroke, and I made it to the nationals, and it was a breaststroke in 87, 88, 89.
Yeah.
So I went for the nationals and won my medals there.
Right. So how was 89? So how was sport there then in terms of swimming? What was the competition like? What was training like?
So in Karnataka, we had the best team then. And the coach I trained with had the best swimmers right then,
Right.
Moite, and he had a lot of the Bolivian swimmers he trained. So we had a very strong team, and that was great to practice with them because you improve so much with that. But as far as facilities goes, it was I don't know what it is like now. It was second-class trains for travel, schoolrooms, government schoolrooms where we stayed on sleeping bags, and not much facilities. And our camps, if we had training camps, it was very basic accommodation, basic food, and our coaches we had fairly good coaches even then. For swimming, we had good coaches.
Okay.
Our pools were mostly quite clean. Not the Alsur pool I swam in, but for the competitions, it was quite clean.
Right.
In Alsur, we swam in a public batch. We had one lane to ourselves,
Okay.
which we swam in a chain, and we swam in the men's public batch.
Okay. So that must be a little bit unnerving to when you start, but
You get used to it.
You get used to
Yeah,
it. I
and he
guess.
was quite a tyrant, my coach, so we didn't question anything. We just
Right.
did whatever he
Yeah,
wanted us to do.
Nice, nice. So how is the experience at nationals? What kind of results did you see?
Good. Our results, we were the strongest. We won on everything in the nationals, and but there was always. In fact, I quit because of the politics. I quit cold turkey. But it was I enjoyed. I think the travel the most. We went to such interesting places.
Right.
And we
Because
went
of
as a team, and my coach would say, you go as a team.
Mm.
We would all travel second class. We'd
Mm.
all go as a team together
Right.
and participate together.
Right.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Right.
Really enjoyed my swimming.
So, what? Because the events would happen at different places,
Yes.
you get to travel
Yes.
and see different
That's right.
places,
Yes.
and it must be quite exciting for a teenager,
Yes.
to see places,
Yes.
go
And
places,
it's your
have
own
fun.
group. We had a really nice group.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
it was really fun. I enjoyed the travel.
Right. Awesome. So, then you quit swimming.
Yes.
When was
Overnight, I
it?
quit swimming. I had actually been selected for the Junior Asian Championship to go to Japan in 1989. And I trained in camp in Bombay. There was a training camp there, and we had some really good coaches, and it was a fantastic camp. We are all set to go. We've got our blazers, we've got our passports, we've got everything. And then we go to do the nationals in Trivandrum, I think. Yeah, we did the nationals in Trivandrum. And the same day that we got offloaded, they just suddenly said, after 3 months of training, you guys are not going. There's a younger batch who has a better chance. And this was in my second PUC.
Okay.
And we're going to send them.
Right.
And in the evening, there was some confusion about me swimming for Karnataka. So because I was in camp and and the girl here didn't do the selections, they said whichever one of you wins the 100-meter breaststroke will swim the breaststroke for the relay for Karnataka. So I won. I beat her and I won. And I swam the relay. But there was some politics, as in they hadn't changed the name. They had put the other person's name. And our team got disqualified.
Wow.
In the nationals. And we broke the record. We had such a strong team. We had,
Right.
and that was just like hours before. Then in the evening, they said, we're not sending you. That was it for me. I just quit.
Right. Yeah. This is heartbreaking, right? The kind of it could be lack of communication, or just pure politics.
Pure politics.
It is a lot, when you are a
And
sportsman.
I was still young. I was 18 years
Yeah,
old, and
yeah.
it just was too much for me to take.
Right.
I quit. I couldn't go to a pool. I'd
Right.
see a pool, and I
Yeah.
couldn't swim.
Yeah.
So I quit.
Right. You'll get so disheartened,
Right.
especially when you are that young,
Right.
and you take everything to heart, pretty much. And I can totally
That was
understand.
really
Yeah.
hard. That was really hard.
When was this?
It's in 89.
In 89.
89.
All right. So, but you tried triathlon.
So
How
I
did-
quit. I
yeah.
quit sports. I wasn't doing much. And then the triathlon came up. The first state meet of triathlon came up. And my coach, Mr. Moite, was a swimming coach. He was conducting it.
Right.
So he just went to try out. So that's when I went back.
Right. When was this?
This was 91.
91.
1991.
So a 1.5 year gap.
Yes.
So, and you got a call from your coach to
Take part in this. Yeah. Because
give it
at that time, there were not many people, firstly, doing any triathlon. There wasn't any.
Right.
And you had to have known swimming, which was something that I was already
Correct.
equipped with.
Right.
So the first
And
state
you
meet-
had a running background
Yes,
to
yes.
begin with in school.
Yes.
Right.
So I took part in the first state meet. I won that. And from there, they selected me to do the nationals, which I won again in Chennai. And this was all in 91. In a couple of months, they selected me, as per my timings, to do the first world championship, which I went to Australia.
Nice.
That was really exciting. Except, as far as cycling goes, I did my state and national meet on a Concord Atlas bike. With no gears, nothing. So that's the bike I rode on.
Wow. Atlas bike. Right.
So, and then when I went to Australia for the World Meet, I went there. And the evening before, I went to a shop and bought myself a cycle.
Okay.
I bought myself a Repco.
Uh-huh.
I bought it the night before my meet, and then I did a spin around, and that was it. And that had gears. I had to get used to it on my but it was still much better than riding the Concorde.
Right. This is crazy. So let's dive a little bit into that, right? So when you got into triathlon,
Yes.
what were the first events that you kind of got into?
Sadly, there were no marathons then. There was nothing else then.
Right.
There were no running events. I think there were a few cycling events, but they were usually in Bijapur or
Correct. So Mysore Dasara race might be
right,
there,
very
and
few.
Pune, Mumbai, it's like long ones.
Right.
for
And
the
I
elites.
wasn't that big a cyclist to do those races.
Right.
And I knew very few women. Actually, Bangalore, there was just one lady. I think Sarla was from the railways. There was nobody else.
Right.
So there was nothing else. There was just this one event to train for. There was either the state event, and which you did, and then the nationals. That's it. There was nothing else that you could. There was no master swimming also then.
Right.
So there were no other events. There was just 2 events that you trained for the whole year. That's it. And if you got qualified, you went for the World Championship or whatever else that they had.
Right. So you the nationals, you said you know for cycling,
Yes.
you participated on the Atlas Concord.
Yes.
The single speed
Yes.
bike. So how was the
Oh, that was the best we had
Right.
then. But I guess, but everybody was on the same field. Everybody
Right.
was using the same
Everybody-
kind of bike. So
Right.
it was okay.
Yeah.
Just the swim I remember the first nationals that they had, it was in the sea and it was full of jellyfish there. People were getting bitten.
Where was this?
In Chennai.
Okay. Chennai.
Chennai near the
in
Port Trust.
91?
1991, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
They had all the nationals in Chennai because the association was there, so every nationals was held
The
there.
triathlon nationals
Yes.
was happening in Chennai.
Yes.
Okay. So swimming in the sea.
Yes.
Cycling on the coast, I guess.
Yes.
And then running.
Yes.
So what were the events you were participating in? Olympic or
The Olympic
distances?
distance. They
The
only
Olympic-
had the Olympic distance.
They only
then.
had the
They didn't
Olympic
have any
distance.
other distances.
So Olympic distance for the audience is like
1.5 kilometers swim.
kilometers swim, 40 kilometer
That's
bike,
it.
and
10K run.
10K run.
Yes.
All right. So how did you do in those events?
The swim was easy for me.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed the bike even then.
Right.
I really enjoyed the bike.
Yeah.
And running came to me naturally. So
Right,
it was.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed what I did.
Right. What were the results like in the nationals?
In the nationals, yeah, I won the nationals.
Right. And that got you selected for Asian Championship.
No,
No.
for the first World Championship that
First
was in
World
Australia.
Championship.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was in 91 itself?
Yes. 91
Alright.
itself.
And which month do you remember?
I think the World Championship was sometime September, I think.
Right. So from just getting back into
Yes.
sport,
Yes.
giving up swimming in 89,
Yes.
coming back to sport in 91,
Yes.
completely different sport in that there is swimming,
Yes.
there is running,
Yes.
but cycling
Yes.
as well. So put the 3 of them together, it is a different sport.
Yes.
And the first year you go to the nationals, you win it,
Yes.
and you in the same year you
In a
are
couple of months.
in a couple of months. Everything happened in a couple of months.
Yes.
You are at the Worlds.
That's right.
That is fantastic, right?
I didn't even give me time to think, but
Right.
yes.
Maybe, if you had time, you would have been nervous. And
Yeah, probably. I was buying bikes and riding and the next day.
So you went to the Worlds.
Yes.
And you bought your bike.
Yes.
The first gate bike.
Yes.
There.
Yes.
The day before
Day
the
before my
event.
race, yes.
Oh my God.
I've
it's
still
so
got that
fun.
bike. I've still got that
You
bike.
do?
Yes, I maintain
oh, man,
it and keep
I would
it.
love to see
It's gone
that.
all around the world with me.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. So how was the experience? So you
Australia was really fantastic.
you did a few rounds.
I
the
did,
night
yes.
before.
The evening before, I had the really sweet guy at the shop, guy called John and John. He sat
Yeah.
with me and told me exactly because the levers were on the
down tube.
yes,
Yes.
and it took me a little while to get used to it. I did a few rounds. I was like, this is it. And I actually did the course. It was a bit scary because it was very light, and I didn't have the cleats, but I did get the ones, I don't know what it's called, the Velcro one where you put your shoe in.
Right, toe clips.
Toe clips, that's
Yes.
right. Yeah.
You slide your foot
Yeah.
in and tighten
Right.
them.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I did get that. So I rode with that.
Right.
I don't remember really being nervous about the bike. I was just focusing on the race. That's it.
Right.
And the one thing that is amazing when you do a race abroad is what country you are, who you are, doesn't matter. They'll all cheer you.
Absolutely.
Even the competitors will cheer you.
Right.
They'll even when you overtake them, they'll cheer you. It
Yeah.
was just a wonderful experience for me.
Right. Right. So, what were the kind of results there at
I
the time?
don't know, but I think 60 something in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really intimidating to watch the kind of equipment that the other countries
Right.
had.
Yeah.
And they had tri-suits. And
Yeah.
we, in India, we wouldn't even get swimsuits.
Right.
Swimsuit was difficult to get. We'd have to wait for someone to come from abroad to get me
Yeah.
swimsuit or swim cap. Or nothing was available.
You bought the bike the day before.
Right.
You
So
know,
when
that
we
speaks
were
a
all
lot.
wearing, I was wearing my swimsuit, and then at transition, I wore shorts and a t-shirt on top.
Right.
Most of the other people had their tri-suits and
Tri-suits and then just go,
they just get onto
right?
the bike
Instead
and go.
of changing. and
Right.
all
It
that.
was all just new to me.
Right. And within everything in
So
a couple
fast,
of
yeah.
couple of
And
months.
I had no coach and I
Right.
had nobody to guide me. So
Right.
it was no internet, of course.
Yeah,
We had
yeah, yeah.
nowhere to look for information.
Right.
So it was just see, watch, and do the first race at least.
Oh man, this is epic. This is so much fun.
Yeah, I guess
Right.
now to look
Like,
back at it.
Yeah. I know. But see the beauty of it, right? You got into sport, and within 2 months you are at the Worlds.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that happening now, right?
No, yeah, I don't.
Because
It's so much of competition.
It changes so much.
That's
much.
right.
Right.
People are more aware of everything,
Yeah,
and sport is such a big thing now.
Right.
I don't think there was anybody running on the roads. So because I didn't have anyone to run with, I ran with the MEG boys.
Hmm.
So
The
whatever
MEG
they,
boys, in a sense?
when they were running, their training, I
Okay.
would run with them because otherwise I'd be alone.
Okay.
So either it's
MEG stands for?
Madras Swappers and Miners.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Yes,
right.
near Alsur.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I ran with them. and
The military boys.
yes,
Yes.
they're the only people who ran
Right.
those distances. So I ran with them.
Okay.
And I was lucky. I went to the stadium and I found we had a velodrome in the Kantirva stadium those days.
How was running with the
Oh,
MEB
good. It
boys?
was continuous. It's a good pace, but I did distances more than I need to do.
Right.
And it was very hard surface, but they are like animals. They
Right.
just run.
Yeah.
And their distances they used to be doing is 20, 25 kilometers. So I
Right.
just did whatever they were doing
Right.
whenever I didn't run on my own.
Right.
Yeah, so I met for cycling. I luckily met the state cyclists then,
Right.
and they knew a little bit, so I would ride with them.
Right.
And our usual route would be Hoskote and back,
Hmm.
or the old airport, up and down maybe once or twice.
Right.
But yeah,
That's beautiful. That's, hearing, I can almost see those days, running with the military boys.
yeah, because
and
there was
then,
nobody else, and it
Right.
wasn't safe to be running alone because there are no other marathon
yeah,
runners
yeah.
or nobody else training.
Right.
So, but I used to do a lot of my training on my own, but once in a while I'd go with these boys.
Right.
And they were really nice. Like the coach was so nice. I met them at the first, at the state meet, the MEG boys.
Okay.
And they were so supportive. Even their coach was so supportive. I used to live in the center. I used to be inside the MEG campus.
Okay.
They would allow me to use their pool, allow me to run there, allow me to do anything there.
Right.
So it was really great.
Very, very nice. Very nice. Now then, what other competitions did you take part in
In triathlon?
triathlon?
just this,
Yeah.
which was not good because there
Right.
was nothing else. With just
Right.
these 2-3 meets a
Right.
year. That's it.
So, till when did you kind of continue
So then the
triathlon?
91, the 92, this was all in my degree. I was also doing
Right.
my BSc.
Correct.
And so 91, I was in my first year, I think. And then 92, I got same thing. I did the state, and then I did the nationals, and then I got selected to, this time they said Canada. The World Championship was in Canada, in Muskoka. So they said, if you do that meet and your timings are good enough, then we will send you for the Asian meet. So that was also a couple of months apart. I remember, I think sometime in June or July was the World Championship in Canada. And Canada was so cold, and we didn't have wetsuits. I thought I'll die because it was so cold, and it was in a lake.
Yeah.
And from there, so I did the World Championship, and I think my timings were good enough. So they asked me to do the Asian Championship, which was the first Asian Championship, yes, in 92 in Japan.
Right. So, so the Canada World Championships, right? So, swimming in that cold pool.
It was really cold. Like, we went there and we just went to practice and jumped into the water. I thought I'm going to die because it was just so cold.
So cold.
So then we had to go and get a wetsuit and get used to that. And,
so you got a wetsuit.
Yes,
and
we
you
got a wetsuit.
Got used to it, and then
my bike never came. So my bike got lost, and it came in. We were there for 3 days, and the bike came in just the evening before the meet.
Wow.
That was Lufthansa. They lost my bike. I was like, I can't do anything without my bike. But surprisingly, I was a lot more, I knew a lot more about putting my bike together than I do now. Now it seems so much more complicated with a DI2 and the other things. It's because you have to assemble your bike. It came, we wrap it up and send it, and then it,
Right. So you, so when did that bike come?
The evening before the race.
Okay. Just in time, just in nick of time.
Yeah.
Okay, and you put it together and then took part in the race.
Yes.
And so, and you had that wetsuit.
Yes.
You did the swim and you did the bike. You got the bike
Yes.
just in time to do it, and the run.
Yes.
And that performance got you qualified for the Asian Championships.
I did far better on that. I think I came 36th in the world.
Right. From 60th something to 36th.
I had gotten used to the bike by then, and in the first World Championship, I'd taken a magazine back, and I'd met a few people. So somewhat I knew about training.
Right.
So about how much to do, and it was much better in this.
Right. So you know, those magazines and all those were the sources of information,
That's it.
knowledge. Not like you type
there
something
was no
in,
internet.
So put something in Google and say, training plan for Olympic distance. Nothing like that.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And because I didn't have a coach, I'd keep a diary to motivate myself as to how much distance to cover, my time every day, so I could look at it at the end of the week and review it and see.
That was your Strava.
Yes.
So a training diary.
Yes.
So what were the kind of entries
So
it
would have bike, run, and swim, and then I'd have my distances and how long I took to do it, and at the end of the week, I total it up and see how much I've improved or not improved.
Fantastic. So you got to the Asian Championships.
Yes.
First Asian Championships.
Yes.
Triathlon Asian Championships. In Japan.
Yes.
And it was 92.
Yes, 1992.
Right. How was the experience going there, training for it, and then
we didn't, as usual, we didn't have time. This one meet, I think somebody sponsored us, and yes, they didn't give us enough time to acclimatize at all. But it was in a small city, Muskoka. No, that was Canada, Hasaki. Yes.
Yeah.
And we got to ride a little bit, and the swim was again in a harbor, it wasn't too choppy. Like Australia was quite choppy, but this was in a harbor, and the temperature was okay, except the food. There was, in those days, they had only fish, and I was allergic to fish. Everywhere there was just fish. There was no pasta. There was nothing else. At least in Canada and Australia, there was other foods like breads and pasta. In Japan, there was nothing else. So I'd go to the department store and buy bananas and bread, and that was our diet.
Right.
But very badly, like no coaches, nobody with any information coming. They were a whole team. We had 5 people come with us. None of them related to anything to do with me. But they've come for my event. So they were no help. It actually put me in the wrong group. And I realized just before my prize distribution that I looked up the events and my prizes. So I went up to the association and said, "This is my prize. That I placed 3rd." And then they realized that they put me in the wrong age group. So they held that distribution back to the last because they told me that if once we give the prize, we won't take it back.
Right.
So they held back my prize distribution to the end because of this confusion.
Okay.
And this was all the wonderful deeds of our officials.
So this is nothing new.
No. Nothing has changed.
Nothing.
No, I can't say it hasn't. It has changed.
It has changed quite a bit,
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
And I think people who are coming into it and who are getting into associations should be from a sports background.
Yeah.
They should really love the sport to be there.
Yeah. At least in cycling, I think that is changing.
That is great.
I don't know much about triathlon association now, but yeah, I think it is still a lot to improve, but some things are changing.
That's good. And I think a lot of people go individually,
Yeah.
not through the association.
Yeah. I don't know if you are allowed to. Last year, I think Samira
Yes.
Abraham, she was the 2018, right?
Yes.
Was where she won the Asian
Yes.
Championships.
Yes.
And the next year they decided not to send her or something like that.
So typical. So 93 was the
Yeah.
next Asian meet in
No,
Malaysia.
let's talk a little bit about 92 Asian Championship. That's a big thing, right? You went there. You sorted your own food because you were allergic to whatever was available there, which is basically
Mostly fish.
So bread, bananas, whatever you could manage,
Yes.
you did, and got no bike missing.
No
this
bike
time.
missing this time. No wetsuit needed.
No
It was
wetsuit
good.
needed,
Yeah.
good weather. So how was the event itself for you?
Oh, it was really good. Japan was really good. I think even the weather was more similar to us.
Right.
So it was good.
So which group were you in?
I must have been in the below 20.
Below 20. That age group, you placed 3rd.
Yes.
And got the bronze.
Yes.
So you eventually they kind of sorted that confusion, and
Yes. I got my medal finally.
you got
Yes.
your medal.
I don't have one picture of it, of me getting my medal, but yes, that was it.
But there is a paper clipping at
Yes.
least.
And I have a medal. Yes.
Yeah, and you have the medal.
Yes.
Absolutely, awesome. But so then you came back with that medal,
Yes.
bronze
Yes.
at Asian Championships.
Yes.
And how was the following year you were able to talk
Yes.
about?
So the following year, it was the same thing. We did the state here, and then we did the nationals in Chennai. And then the association had a big breakup. They split into 2, and each one saying they're busy fighting with each other. Each one saying if you go for that one's competition, you'll be disqualified, and this one.
Oh, this
That was
sounds very familiar.
That was it. I quit.
This sounds very familiar. I think. Oh my
This
God.
was in 93, and it was my final year degree.
These things still happen, by
Oh
the
no,
way.
that is not good. It is so sad for the athlete because that's the person who has put in the effort.
It is.
You
it is
have to
quite
be in the
sad.
athlete's shoes.
So, for example, I don't know if I can say this. This happened in Tamil Nadu Cycling Association last year. People were confused. They
With the venue?
about the venue of the state meet,
Yes.
because apparently they got 2 communications from two different associations.
Oh gosh.
One saying this is the real state meet, and the other
Oh
saying
gosh.
this is the real state meet. And people were, torn between two. They,
You
I
don't
mean, like
know as an
one,
athlete.
yeah, one is like hundreds of kilometers away from each other. They can't say participate in both
Both.
or anything like that.
And on the same day?
Almost, I think,
Oh gosh.
or back-to-back weeks or
That is
something
so
like that.
sad.
It was
That is sad.
it was. I think hopefully it is sorted now, and they
So
will.
even here we started getting things like if you participate in for them, then you will get disqualified. So we were really confused athletes. We didn't know
Right,
what we were doing. So
right.
I think they dissolved the whole association or what they did. I don't know.
Hmm.
But that was the end of triathlon for me.
Oh, that is sad. Yeah, but you continued swimming.
No,
Hmm.
I didn't.
Right. You were
Pretty
in
much stopped. I
degree
finished
right
my
now.
final year.
All right.
And I was very keen on doing something with the environment and wanted to get out and
Mm-hmm.
do some course, but didn't end up doing that. Got married.
Right.
By 96, I was married. And
Right.
then for a long time, I didn't do much. I just kept fit, but
Right.
not anything competitive because there wasn't anything competitive there.
Right. There were no events,
no.
so there is no BBCH or bar
No,
races and stuff like
nothing.
that.
Nothing.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then when did you kind of get back to sport after marriage?
About 10 years ago, I'd say, they started the master swimming.
Hmm.
And my kids were old enough to at least take them and go.
Right.
And that's when I started swimming again. So I swim the state and the masters, and the nationals.
Right.
Most years I do that.
Okay. So from about 10 years back, you
Yes.
started doing this
Yes.
regularly.
In between that, I put on a lot of weight. I started squash.
Okay.
So I played the master squash.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I won that in my category in the masters.
Nationals.
And then, then I came back to swimming.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about that, right? So, you are like pencil thin now. So when you say put on weight, how much weight did you put on?
I did. When I quit swimming, that was 1991.
Right.
I don't know what it is. I think your metabolism is. I
Yeah.
don't know what happens. It just bloated up. I was
Right.
really huge.
Yeah.
So I started squash then because I couldn't hit the pool. I was playing squash to lose weight and keep fit. And then I played squash. I kept playing. That's something I did. Not when I was doing triathlon so much, but sporadically I'd play.
Right.
Then after I gave up triathlon, I went back to that because it gives you a quick workout and it's this was a nice community. So this was in the club and I'd play there. And then I got pulled in to play the tournaments. So I played a few tournaments and I played two masters, I think I played.
Okay.
But
And won them.
yes.
So you basically go anywhere and just win them.
But my knees are so bad now and I can't play anymore. So that's one thing I've given
Because
up
of the
for sure.
squash,
Yeah,
right.
squash and running. I think it was more the years of running on tar with with these MEG guys and bad shoes. I remember running with the PVC sole Lotto shoes. Those are the shoes I ran with.
Right.
Those are the best you got.
Yeah.
You didn't get anything else.
Yeah. Okay, but the quick movements and sudden
Yes, I think
turns
so.
and everything
Yes.
off squash also would
Definitely,
have a little bit of this thing. You need to be really strong to kind of.
I think the endurance pulled me through in my squash and fitness because I've always done the gym. The gym is something I do weights all the time that I've never stopped.
That definitely helps.
For sure.
Yeah.
Keeps your strength there.
Correct,
So.
correct. Awesome. So you kind of say niece said enough squash
Yes.
and then you got back into
Just
kind of swimming.
Yes.
Right. So and how many masters titles did you win?
So I go whenever I can. So my daughter's 10th grade, I didn't go. Then my son's something else, I didn't go.
Right.
My husband's a pilot, so I can't depend on him being home for them.
Right.
So I've done maybe about 5 or 6 state and masters. And
basically won all of them.
we're only allowed to take part in 4 events. So I choose the best 4 that I want to do and take.
Right.
It's been 2 years now since I raced. My race is on the 9th
Okay.
next month.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
All the best for that.
Thank you.
Great, great. So, if someone say is interested in these masters swimming events,
Yes.
how do they go about it?
You just have to enter. That's it.
Right. So, who would they?
There's no qualification, nothing for the
Not-
state,
Right.
but for the master, for the nationals there is.
Okay. So for the states, there is a state swimming
Yes.
association that you can
Yes.
approach and
Register. Yes.
And
Just show up
do
and
they
do the
do they
race.
have a website for the
Yes.
dates and stuff
Yes.
like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll put that in the show notes so that people can
Yes.
look. Great. So you participated in 5-6 of the
Yes.
nationals
Yes.
and won those.
And enjoying traveling again. The
And
last
enjoy-
one was in Lucknow, so
Right.
Hyderabad, different places. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So now that the kids have grown
Yes.
enough, you are back to your
Free.
free teenage kind of
Yeah.
years.
Cycling is actually the one thing I couldn't do when I had the kids because
Right.
school was in the morning. There's no chance I could get out. My kids have just my son has just gotten into college, so now I can go.
Right. So when did you get back to cycling?
Cycling.
Right.
So because of the lockdown, there was no swimming. And I started cycling. Actually, I had a surgery. I had a shoulder surgery about 5 years ago, I think.
Squash?
It had a rotator cuff tear, and I went and did ninjutsu, and I had a slap tear. So I had the surgery, and I couldn't do anything at that time. So I got myself a trainer from Venkatesh. Venkatesh and me rode together then.
Yeah,
So he gave me a trainer, and I
So
got a bike.
back in the day, you guys rode together?
Yes.
The Venki Wheel
Yes.
Sports.
Yes.
Okay, when you mentioned the state team and
Yes,
all,
that was him.
So
There
that
was Venkatesh. There's one other boy who rides now, Sanjay.
Sanjay Krishnamurti. Yes, he still rides.
Yes, and there were
Both of them still ride.
I think they were the only two. There were other boys. There was Prasanna.
There
Then
was
there
Prasanna.
was Nagraj, Murali. There were a few boys that
Right.
rode. Yeah.
So these were the guys that you rode with
Right.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh,
I must tell you about this. So there was no cell phones, right? So we would meet at MG Road, and there was these stairs on the side on the walkway. If you remember the older way,
Right.
old MG. So we'd wait over there, and if somebody had gone, they would leave one stone there, so you know that somebody is on the road, because there's no other way of communicating with each other.
That's your WhatsApp.
That was called Somberi Katte.
so very good.
Because if you sat there, you wouldn't get up.
Oh, this is beautiful. So you would so how do you decide the time and place?
Nothing.
Around
If you
that
just
time?
showed up and
You show up.
or you tell them the day before.
The day before you
Fix
you would
a
say,
ride.
okay, there I'm going to ride at be
Yes.
there at so and so time,
Yeah.
and
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Meet up, show up, meet up, and go. If someone did not show up, and you want to go, you put
Just leave a stone there and
leave
get
a
going.
stone
At
there
Somberi
and go.
Katte. Yes.
So very cut and go
Yes.
off. Awesome, yeah. That's and what were the routes that you were
Mostly
riding?
Hoskote and back.
Okay,
Though that was the road.
our Hoskote and
Yeah,
back.
but it's not like how the roads are now.
No,
It was just a single road with
Right,
and
it would have been mostly jungle kind of
nothing. There was
environment, right?
nothing there. Like
Nothing
if we
there.
had a flat, we had no pumps, no nothing. So if we had a flat, we'd have to jump into a lorry and come back home. No taxis, no nothing. Jump into a lorry and come back home.
Great. Yeah, it's great that Venki and Sanjay
Yeah.
and you
Suleiman.
now.
Suleiman, do you know
Suleiman, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
he's in
yeah.
Coimbatore.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
these are the
yeah.
boys I rode with.
Oh, this is beautiful. So you all of you are still riding.
Few
which
of
is-
us, yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So which is great.
I'm really enjoying it. I
Yeah.
think it's more being out and it's such a social sport as against swimming.
Right.
There's so much conversation in
Right.
cycling, which I
Coffee
enjoy.
stops and
Yes,
all
yes,
that.
I
Photo
really
shoots.
enjoy it. I'm 50 almost, and
Yeah.
this is really something I'm enjoying now.
Yeah. So, how many times do you ride nowadays?
I was riding in lockdown 6 days to 7 days a week. I was riding every day,
Right.
and it was so safe. I didn't even need anyone. I just get on, remove the barricade, and ride. But now it's because of my state meet coming up. I've really slowed it down to 2 days a week now.
Right.
But I'll go back to at least 3 days a week out.
Okay.
I really enjoy it.
So very nice. So any plans of taking part in triathlon
No, I
again?
can't. My knees are in a really bad shape,
For
and
running.
after that one surgery, I don't want any more surgeries. So I'm just going to enjoy what I do.
Surgery on the
I need
knees?
surgery, yeah, eventually, yes.
Okay.
This cycling has helped me tremendously because I've built up my muscles on my hamstring.
When was this surgery?
No, I haven't done the surgery
But
yet. I'm due to this. I had one shoulder surgery.
surgery?
After that, I'm like, no, I
Okay.
don't want any more surgeries.
Yeah. But the knees are
Yeah, my knees are not in the great shape. No.
Good shape for running.
No, I
part.
can't run. I'm in a lot of pain when I run.
Oh, okay. So swimming and cycling it is for you.
For now, yes.
Awesome. But yeah, it's been really fun. Yeah, it's
My
chat.
stories, yes.
Yeah, really awesome to hear about the sport back then and now, right? The changes. What are the changes that you see from back then to now?
Oh, the biggest thing is the community has grown so much, and there's so
Right.
much of support, and like you don't even have to meet someone; you can hook up with somebody and ride. And the other thing is equipment; everything is available.
Now there are so many WhatsApp groups. There is no living stone at the katte. You can call them and
Send a message and a
Send a
good
message.
morning, and
yeah, confirm that they are going to be there,
right,
not ditching
yeah, all
you.
new etiquette for me, but yes.
Right.
The equipment, everything is available.
No more down tube shifters, no more Atlas Concord.
No. And good bikes are available
Yeah.
here. In fact, the bike that I'm riding, I bought from Venki here.
Right.
And yeah, you get all your spares, even your swimming equipment. We couldn't get swimsuits, we couldn't get caps, we couldn't get anything.
Right.
Everything is available. And the internet is fantastic. You can
Yeah.
get as much information as you want. Trainers, indoor trainers are fabulous.
Right.
So
yeah, the availability of equipment right
information more than anything else.
now. Information. When it comes to availability of equipment, we must thank guys like Venki, right?
Yes,
They are the ones who
right in the beginning.
pioneered
Yes.
all this, importing
Bikes.
the bikes
Yes.
and all this. I think for Venki, this Bangalore is a kind of, second visiting place.
Used to be. He's gone
At least
crazy with the
now-
lockdown.
not for the last couple of
Yeah.
years. Poor guy, he must be missing Thailand
John.
and Taiwan and all this.
Yes, he's just waiting to go.
Yeah. So, but thanks to them, the
Like bike
availability is
repair.
yeah.
We had one guy in a tiny little shop in near Commercial Street. Raja Cycles, I think he was called.
Mhm.
He had a lathe, and he would, try and get the same kind of bearings, try and fix everything with what was available here. Nothing was available.
Right. Yeah, thanks to all these guys that it
Yeah.
is now a much better time to be in the sport.
To be in any sport.
To be in any sport. That is very true.
And
That is
just the
very true.
mindset of people
Right.
is so different. And there's so much of positive focus on people doing sport.
Right.
I was like a crazy person running those days. It was like, what is this woman doing?
But you were one of those really early pioneers, right? People like you have to be there for others to kind of know and follow and stuff like that. That's why the main thing, although you were apprehensive of
Yes.
coming on the podcast to talk about it, because some people know that you were into sport earlier and some of your achievements, but they wanted to kind of understand how it is. I was more curious about it, right?
Yeah.
So because predominantly the podcast is for me to know more stuff, so that's what I wanted to know. How was it back then, and how is it now? How are you enjoying
Oh,
it,
I
and all
love
that?
cycling now. I
Yeah.
really enjoy it. But I don't know whether I want to compete. I'm enjoying the whole community. I like being outdoors.
Right.
So the roads that I take are really
But
nice.
you don't want to race?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It makes me very nervous. For some reason, cycling makes me nervous. Like I'm going to swim, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay.
I think there's too much dependency in cycling. Your equipment, your tires, your this, your that, and
Okay.
it's new for me.
Yeah. But I think it's at least in my opinion, it is just that you need to do.
I think so.
So you do once, twice, thrice, you will figure it out.
Really?
Knowing you, you will ace it.
I've done it once, and then I
Yeah.
said I don't think I'm going to do it again. But
No, but you will.
probably. Let's
No
see.
pressure.
Yeah. So I can't do any climbs. I can't
Ah.
put much effort on my knees.
Right.
The time trials probably.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah, because that is a kind of solo effort. You're
Right.
not in a group.
That's
or
the
anything.
thing for me.
Right.
I'm not able to pace myself in the solo effort. I'm used to like chasing something, but in a
Okay.
solo effort, it's just you and your computer, which is new
Right.
for me.
Oh, then something like handicap races and stuff like
Maybe,
that.
yeah. Maybe I should do that next time. Yeah.
You should just
Try that out.
Just show up and try it,
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
But even for the time trials, right? The more you do it, the better you get at pacing yourself.
I've got to learn that.
Because you
All this is new for me. The heart rate monitor, never been monitored. We only checked our pulse.
right.
And the computer, all this is new for me. So,
Yeah.
in fact, I remember my first race that I did last October, was it?
Yeah.
The first
Yeah.
race. I got my Garmin just like few days before that, and I didn't know how to switch it on. So, standing at the starting person, I was like, please to switch this on for me. Technically, I'm hopeless. I'm so bad.
You don't need to be when you are good on the bike and swim and all that. You don't need to be technically good. You just have to be aerobically good.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah. But I would say you do more of them. You would get better at pacing yourself.
Yeah,
Because first few are always terrible when it comes to time trial.
Right.
We tend to go too hard at the start.
Yes.
And suffer a lot. You would obviously vain, because first 5 minutes we tend to be feeling like Superman and Superman. It's like go, but once you get there, 5 minutes after, you will start feeling the effort.
The strain.
So holding back a little bit in
Right.
the start
Right.
is very important.
Yeah.
It needs to be feeling easy
Right in the
at
beginning.
the start.
Right.
And then after,
And then the winds and all those things, you've got to figure it all out.
You'll just get into that feeling, that effort.
Yeah.
After 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, then you will start pacing
Right.
from then. But you will figure it out once you start
Oh,
doing.
yeah, if I do.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you will. I know, but you will figure it out. But do continue doing what
Yeah, I'm
you
enjoying it as of now with no
yeah.
pressure. And
Yeah.
I like it that there's no structure now to my
Right.
training. I've done too much structured training.
Right.
So I don't like numbers.
Yeah.
I don't like to look at I don't like numbers at all. Just
Right.
like to ride and
Enjoy.
yes.
Yeah, perfect. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, I love
as
it.
long as, because a lot of us get into sport to kind of take care of health or something or the other, but once you get into
Enjoying
it, and once we get to racing and then training, and it might become too much focus on the numbers,
Right.
that it
Takes away the joy.
takes away the joy.
Yes.
Exactly. But you got to remember why you started, how you enjoyed riding, and then say, okay, numbers, improvement, all those things are important.
Yeah.
But it should not
Rule
dominate
everything,
everything.
yes, yeah.
Right? It should not dominate everything, and it should not ruin the whole experience.
Right.
So That is important. So do what you love.
I'm enjoying the
Yeah,
riding
yeah,
out. Yes, some of the routes that we go on are so beautiful.
right. So it's been a fantastic chat
Thank you.
with you. Any kind of tips for people like us to
People like you're a professional. I always just think you have to enjoy it.
Right.
For the basic is to just enjoy it and love it.
Fantastic. Anu, thanks so much to come and
My pleasure.
coming here and sharing your experience.
My pleasure.
It's been a fantastic chat.
Thank you.